Have you ever wondered whether Google Tasks or ToDoIst is better for keeping track of your tasks? Let's find out which is actually better than the other one in this video. So first and foremost, when we look at ToDoIst, it has a free version that is pretty solid. However, there is a fair amount of limitations. Even though this is considered the best productivity app on the market for to-do lists, this has only 5 active projects, a few collaborations per project, and 3 filters, and 1 week of activity history. So that would mean that if I were to have a task be completed more than a week ago, I would have no idea as to what I had done beforehand. So it doesn't exactly do well if you're trying to do any sort of reviewing, whereas the free version of Google Tasks is actually as long as you want it to be. So if I were to press tasks here, so if I were to take this task, move it more than a week ago, and then check this off, I would be able to see the fact that it was completed more than a week ago. And this is a plus in Google Tasks, and the functionality of it in general blends right in with your Google Calendar, and you can see it in this regard. However, it is limited, and I will say this. So there is a time associated with this, as you'll see with this Google task. It has a time associated with it, but it doesn't let you sort of take that time and spread it out more than those 30 minutes. And there is a similar limitation, which I'll get into in ToDoIst with its Google Calendar integration. But overall, the free version of this doesn't have a big amount of functionality. There are lists that you can make in Google Tasks, and you can sort things a little bit. Now, the keyboard shortcuts are not exactly too intense, because when it comes to something like ToDoIst, it just has a little bit more functionality overall, which we'll get into in a bit. But first, I want to talk about the integration side of things, as this is an application that integrates directly with the Google Suite, and that can be seen just by the way that it functions here. But if we go into something like ToDoIst, I have put out some tasks here. So if I were to take this and put it today, and then go here and show you in the integrations tab, ToDoIst can integrate with pretty much any daily planner app that exists: Sansama, Friday, Akiflow, all of these applications. And it has a nice sync with ToDoIst. And the way that this actually works, as you'll see in the sync options, is that there is a similar look as to what Google Tasks has, where you can actually take how long each task gets assigned and do a time blocking system in there. I've done a video on that if you want to check it out. But when it comes to ToDoIst, you're going to have a lot more integrations than Google outside of just the suite. But if we go into an example Google Calendar here, you'll quickly be able to see the examples that I put out here. You have a task showing up right in this system, and there is an option for you to choose whether you want the task to disappear or not once it's completed. So if I wanted to, I could remove it from there, but I like to keep them on there if I do that system. From a functionality standpoint in general, the quick tasks and natural language processing that you have in ToDoIst is superior to Google Tasks. Because if I press A here, I can type a task out, and I have a task at 5 a.m. tomorrow at side hustle, and it's a P2. Like, I can do all that, and if I press Alt Enter, I did all of that in one fell swoop, and that was really easy to do. Now, from another few perspectives, there is a inordinate higher level of grouping and sorting and just filtering that you can do within ToDoIst. As you'll see, there is a filters and labels sections where you can have different filters like important tasks in here, or what's assigned to me, or just different labels that you have. Whereas in Google Tasks, you don't really have much outside of something like this, which is a third-party application that'll cost you a few bucks a month, actually. So if I were to go and use this, as you'll see here, I can open up this extension, and this is a nice board view, which you do have in ToDoIst. I will say that you're able to change from a list to a board view, which is nice in ToDoIst. But the thing is, if I want to add any sort of labels or anything like that, you need to pay for like the premium of this Google Tasks extension, and it's $3.30 a month, whereas it's just $3 a month for ToDoIst Pro. And basically what I'm telling you is that you have more functionality from an actual Software's Pro version, whereas with something like this, you have to pay for premium version in order to get the full functionality of a third-party application. Now, I do like the fact that Google Task is so simple and easy to use, and even the mobile app for both of them are similar. but I'm just not a fan of the fact that this application is so limited. It's so basic. Like, you can add a few different lists and that's cool. And if you want to keep it that simple and easy to use, like having it be like side hustle for one, and then like making a new list for work and housekeeping, all those sort of things. Yeah, you can keep a similar system to what I have in a lot of my videos, but the level of functionality that you get, like, yeah, cool, you can sort by due date, you can add some colors. It's just not that much though. Like, there's not much you can do with it. Even from a recurring task standpoint, yes, you can add recurring tasks in Google Tasks. Like, I can take this guy and have it repeat every whatever interval. It does have that functionality with it. It's just, in my opinion, that this application is just weaker than ToDoIst. Why not use the Google Calendar integration with ToDoIst? Now, I would say though, pay the $3 a month if you're going to get ToDoIst. Don't use the free version. If you have a job that is Google Suite oriented and you want to interact with the Google Suite oriented application that has activity history, maybe go with Google Tasks. But there are other free options. Like, you have free Notion. If you like this video and want to see more, check out this one to see how you can improve your productivity even more. It's a promise. You'll be more productive. There's no way you won't.